Next on Worcester News Tonight, tempers flare at a tense community meeting over the issue of undocumented immigrants. Plus, a local turkey farm gearing up for their busiest season yet, 1 year after a fire killed thousands of turkeys. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. Over the past few years, the city has taken steps to accommodate refugees and immigrants to live in Worcester. And some residents have grown concerned about undocumented people living in the city. Tonight, the issues surrounding immigration led to some heated exchanges at a community meeting.
They change their name, they will deport them. Get your fight right.
Okay, you talk.
Just get your fight right.
If I'm not allowed to...
This was the scene at tonight's Maine-South Alliance for Public Safety meeting. Some at the meeting were angry with Chairman Billy Bro's efforts to seek information on how many city crimes were committed by undocumented immigrants. Few protesters held signs up outside the building where the meeting was being held. Some who attended feel the Alliance may be taking the issue just a bit too far.
Pass-through money to all other agencies. It's millions and millions.
He's talking about immigration and he's talking about public safety. Unfortunately, what I think he's doing is he's conflating the two. So when you start to conflate the two and put the two together, it becomes very dangerous.
Not that we're not a caring and compassionate community. It's how much can we bear and how much are we going to take and how is it related to this situation that's in the city now and some of the crime we've seen.
The Maine-South Alliance for Public Safety holds a monthly meeting to discuss community issues. Immigration was brought up at this meeting purposely after the election, so it would be less politicized. New statistics show overdoses are rising as the state continues to fight the opioid epidemic. Tonight, a speak out held in the city to educate people about the dangers of opioid addiction. Our Cam Jandro reports.
Andy, the opioid crisis continues to affect people and families across central Massachusetts and the entire state. Tonight, community members gathered here at the YWCA in Worcester to discuss the issue.
Individuals receiving Schedule II opioid prescriptions, 40,684. That's about 5% of the population here in Worcester County alone over the past 3 months.
The opioid crisis is still impacting lives across the Commonwealth. In a discussion Thursday night at the YWCA aims to educate the public. Sean McKenna is the Director of Community Outreach for the Worcester County Sheriff's Office. He says this is a serious problem with a solution.
And so we just have to stay proactive. We have to think of new ideas how to solve this crisis. And you're really bringing multiple agencies together, law enforcement, teachers, health professionals, politicians, community activists coming all together to fight this. And we're going to see a positive effect, I believe, because of it.
According to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, the number of opioid-related deaths in 2016 is set to exceed last year's total. Thursday's event was hosted by Unity Radio. Executive producer Ernie Floyd says this topic was too important to let go.
Well, the opioid crisis seems to be something that's really in the mainstay of what's going on in the city of Worcester. And at the same time, I have personally experienced it, not me myself, but family members and friends as far as being affected by the situation.
Worcester Police's crisis intervention team also spoke at the meeting. Officer James Power says drug addiction is a tough battle to win, but there's always someone to help.
There's people in pain. They're not taking the drugs because they want to get high and do mean things. They're just taking the drugs because they want to feel normal. They want to have some sense of normalcy. They don't want to be sick. Recovery is possible for addiction, and that everybody out there is worth recovering.
Now, tonight's discussion also included stories told by several former drug addicts. They say that while tonight's meeting is for awareness, it's also to show that recovery is always an option. Reporting in Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Thanks, Cam, for that report. Water leaks have caused serious damage inside Worcester's Union Station and will cost over $1 million in repairs. The leaks were the result of a water infiltration problem. Our Rosalind Flaherty talked with city officials about the repairs and has a look at how they are addressing the problem.
An iconic building in the city and a historic transportation center is once again in need of repair.
Result of just natural wear and tear and a failed drainage system.
John Odell is the Energy and Asset Director for Worcester. He says Union Station's drainage system is running at 50% capacity, and it's hard to tell why.
During a heavy rainstorm or after an ice and snow, and the snow and ice melt comes, we're getting leakage into the building.
Odell says the leak is coming from the back side of the station where the building meets the train platform. He says the leak is not creating a structural problem yet, but could if it's not taken care of.
It's only more recently that we've noticed that it's becoming more significant.
The Worcester Redevelopment Authority will vote on options to repair the leaks. The first option will cost around $1 million, but will only be a temporary fix. Odell says the best option would cost as much as $6 million and will last up to 60 years.
Eventually, no matter which option we take, we're going to eventually end up doing what we're planning to do in the best option. The question is whether or not we want to do it now or do we want to do it later.
Odell says 20% of the cost will come from local taxpayer dollars and 80% will come from the federal government. He says the leak is not affecting any businesses and fixing it will not impact the train service.
Let's be proactive about this thing and get the repairs done now.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
New tonight, a Northborough man has been found after he was reported missing earlier this week. Northborough police say Brian Cairns returned home earlier today, reported missing by his family on Tuesday. Officers questioned Cairns at his home after his car was found by the Westboro Reservoir, prompting a search by a dive team and police yesterday. The man was found unharmed. Multiple emergency units on scene after a fire broke out at a home in Auburn late Thursday morning. Fire started around 10:30 this morning on Pinehurst Road. The Auburn Fire and Police departments were on scene. Fire Chief Stephen Coleman says the fire was in the attic. It is believed that the fire may have been caused by contractors working on the home. No one was injured.
On arrival, we found smoke condition coming from the roof. The crews did a great job of extinguishing the fire very quickly. It was in the attic. It appears at this time that it was the fire started by some contractors that were working in the home.
The cause of the fire remains under investigation by the Auburn Fire Department. Well, Thanksgiving is just 1 week away. A local turkey farm is preparing for their busiest season 1 year after a large fire killed 7,000 of their turkeys. Our Brittany Schaefer visited Bob's Turkey Farm in Lancaster today and has a look at how they're recovering.
Bob's Turkey Farm in Lancaster is in its peak season with Thanksgiving just 1 week away.
It's been busy and we will sell out.
Co-owner Susan Miner says customers should pre-order their turkeys because they won't have a surplus this year. This is due to a large fire this summer, killing more than 7,000 turkeys.
It was devastating and we were just scrambling. I mean, from the time of the fire to decide whether we were going to continue on or what we're going to do.
Fire was pretty tragic.
I was absolutely horrified, not just for myself, but certainly for this business.
While the farm is recovering and rebuilding, Miner says they have 3,000 fewer birds available this year.
We couldn't, hatch enough to make up for a whole month of hatching.
Miner says if it wasn't for the help of the community, Bob's Turkey Farm would not be here next year.
It was a GoFundMe, and then there was an account at the local bank, and it was very generous of people to donate to our business. To keep us here.
Kate Horgan-Burke was picking up gravy Thursday. She, like many other longtime customers, say Bob's is a part of their Thanksgiving tradition.
For about the last 5 or 6 years, we've been buying our turkey here because it's always fun. It's very crowded, but everybody knows they're going to wait. Everyone's very patient and in a good mood, and you get your turkey and everybody walks out smiling.
We've dealt with Bob's Turkey Farm over the years. This is a tradition that has been excellent. And this is part of what we're all about.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Construction underway in the Canal District for the new Worcester Sports Center. Will soon be the new practice facility for the Worcester Railers. Iron beams were delivered to the construction site on the corner of Harding and Winter Streets today. The 100,000 square foot facility will have 2 full rinks, which will be used by several area high school and college hockey teams. Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce President Tim Murray says the rink will bring more traffic to the Canal District. It's a huge investment for the city and local businesses.
It's going to add bodies and foot traffic and activity, in the Canal District. I think it's also going to add to our hotels and restaurants, and that it will attract tournaments that come from across the country and certainly around New England.
And the facility is set to open in October of next year, so just less than a year away from opening. Students at North High School today got a chance to meet with a cardiologist. A foundation dedicated to a young boy who died from sudden cardiac arrest is focusing on raising awareness about heart disease. Our Olivia Lemon explains.
More than 200 students participated in a free heart screening Thursday at North High School.
We have a lot of athletes. We have a lot of students in JROTC that do PT every day, and this is just another way, another layer we can support our students.
Principal Lisa Dyer says it's important for students to be aware of heart diseases leading to sudden cardiac death. This is the 5th school the Josh Thibodeau Helping Hearts Foundation has hosted a screening at.
We really want to give back to the Worcester community. It's been great to us.
In 2011, at 12 years old, Ralph Thibodeau's son Josh collapsed and passed away from sudden cardiac arrest. Now his family is hoping to bring awareness about the importance of heart screenings and having AEDs in all schools.
It's a cursory screening for any underlying heart conditions. So we're trying to catch the big problematic issues.
We find a variety of issues that need to be followed up on.
Dr. David Kane says this is an opportunity to bring resources to students who may not otherwise be able to get them.
It provides additional look at some of the potential cardiac explanations for sudden death, and that's why we're doing this, is really to spread awareness and increase training as well as CPR throughout high school students.
This screening goes a little deeper than it would if they were in a doctor's office. So, you know, we can rest assured that when they're on the athletic field, that we've done all that we can to support them and keep them healthy.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester.